In this video, we're going to be talking about the DJI mic, the DJI Mic 2, and the DJI Mic Mini. And I'm going to show you the difference between all three of these mics, which you can see right here on my chest. I have all three mics, so throughout this entire video, I'll put a label on the screen of which microphone I'm using so you can hear the sound quality of each microphone. Now, I'm in an empty house because I just moved. And so we're gonna wander around this empty house while I talk about these three different microphones. And I'm gonna wear this backpack because it makes it easy to put all three right here at my chest so you can hear the sound quality. So it's gonna look a little ridiculous walking around with a backpack in this house, but I'm doing it for a purpose. And so we'll go to some rooms which are gonna be super echoey like this, and some rooms that are gonna be less echoey. Still not the best, but we got carpet, it's a little bit smaller space. So we're gonna hear the sound difference as we move through some different spaces. And also we'll go outside and I'll let you hear what these microphones sound like outside as well.
And I wanna say a special thanks to DJI for sponsoring this video.
So the first big thing we should talk about is what's the same about these microphones. Well, all three of DJI's microphones are wireless microphone systems. They all allow you to hook up two different microphones to one receiver so that you can have two different people talking, or you could use them as a standalone, just as a single transmitter like I am now, and you could basically get yourself away from camera. So you could either shoot right next to the camera, or like I am here, getting a distance away. And this room has a lot of reverb going on because there's just so much big flat walls. So let's go to somewhere else that's not so reverby. All right, before we go further in this video, let's just do a quick audio test outside. Because a lot of this video, you're gonna be hearing the sound in a contained environment, in a house. And you'll hear some different types of audio in there, depending on which room I'm in. But I want you to hear all three of these mics outside. This is typically how I use the DJI mics. Because I go out, shoot adventure videos, shoot outdoors, and this is the sound that you're getting between each of the microphones. So this is the DJI mic. This is the original one. And you can see I have a windscreen on each. There's a breeze hitting me. It's gonna help clean up that audio. Now this is the audio from the DJI Mic 2, and I'm not using the noise reduction feature that's built into these. This is just the sound straight out of these microphones. And I am using the internal recording for the DJI mic and the DJI Mic 2 because it's easier to do this kind of setup where I'm testing all three mics. Now, this is the sound from the DJI Mic Mini, and it's being recorded on my camera because there's no way to do a backup recording. So this is what it sounds like between each of the mics. And I really wanted to put this up front so that you could hear the difference between each microphone and really just get a sense of it before we really dig into what makes each microphone unique and why you would choose one versus the other. All right, so this room's a little bit better. So now let's talk about some of the things that make each one of these microphones different. And the first thing is gonna be the price. So the original DJI mic came out a little while ago. So it's gonna be cheaper, but it's definitely geared more towards professionals, just as the DJI Mic 2. Whereas the DJI Mic Mini is a little bit more simple and it's geared towards more content creators. Now, all three of these microphones can be used for content creators. However, the mic and the Mic 2 have more professional level tools built into them so that you can use them for more than just creating content. So let's go over the prices of each one of these microphones. And you can buy them in different ways. So I'm gonna show you on screen the different ways that you can buy these microphones, but the way that I like to look at it is if you're gonna buy it with the two mics, one receiver, one mic, one receiver, or just the mic as a standalone. And so with the original DJI mic, you can buy the two mics, one receiver for $249, one mic, one receiver for $159, and you can't buy the mic as a standalone because it doesn't really work without the receiver. That's gonna be one of the big differences you're gonna see between these different wireless transmission systems. Now, the DJI Mic 2, the two mics, one receiver, it's $349. The one mic, one receiver is $219. And the one mic as a standalone is $99. And for the Mic Mini, $169 for two mics, one receiver, $89 for one mic, one receiver, and just as the mic as a standalone to use as Bluetooth or to pair with some of the other devices, $59. So really, If you just want to use one of these as a microphone and you're going to be using it via Bluetooth, or you're connecting directly to something like your Osmo Pocket 3, then the Mic Mini is the cheapest option. However, if you need more professional level tools, but the Mic 2 is just a little bit too expensive, the original DJI mic is cheaper. It's going to give you some of these different features that's going to appeal to you if you do need to use this more than just wireless microphone. So the next thing you might be wondering is what's included when you purchase one of these different setups. Well, typically you're going to get the microphone, you're going to get a windscreen to help with wind noise when you're outside. You're hearing a constant on the microphone. You're going to get a connection to your camera, to your phone, and depending on the way that you're purchasing it, you're going to get a charging case and also a carrying pouch that you can carry everything in. Now, the big difference between the DJI Mic Mini and the Mic 2 is that the Mic Mini allows you to put everything in the charging case. This is a great feature for someone who wants to keep everything simple and in one place. With the DJI Mic 2, everything fits in the soft pouch, but you have to put the charging case in the soft pouch as well. And with the original DJI mic, you also get a soft pouch, but it doesn't use a zipper, and it's just not as good as the Mic 2 or the Mic Mini. However, everything can come with you in a pretty small package no matter which system that you're working with. Now, one big thing for me is that there is an additional attachment that works with the DJI Mic 2, and this is to connect directly to your Sony cameras. So you don't have to use the 3.5 input and go into your audio input on your camera. Rather, you could go directly into your Sony camera using the hot shoe mount. For me, I use Sony cameras. I'm actually shooting this all in 8K on the Sony A1 Mark II, test out this camera. But with the DJI Mic 2, you could connect directly into your Sony camera, and it just makes the whole process so much easier. So you don't have to worry about cables or attaching anything else. You just clip it into the hot shoe mount and you get to use your wireless audio with your Sony camera. Now, with all three of these microphones, you have a windscreen that is included. This allows you to get rid of any wind sounds that would be hitting the microphone. Like right now, I'm still up here on this ridge and there's wind hitting me. It's gonna sound cleaner with the little fuzzy thing on top. But let's talk about distance, because there is a slight variance between all three of these microphones. And what I mean by distance is how far you could actually get away from the camera. Let me put this on a tripod real quick. So with the DJI Mic 2 and the original DJI mic, you have a distance of 250 meters. And that's the distance between the transmitter and the receiver that you can get before you start losing signal. Now with the Mic Mini, it's 400 meters. So it is further, almost double. That's plant hurts. Almost double of what you get on the other two microphones. Now, that is a clear line of sight. So I have it right here on my chest. The Mic Mini receiver's over there on my camera. You're gonna get clean audio as long as you keep a clear line of sight between the transmitter and receiver. But if I turn around and I start walking away, well, you're still gonna get maybe some clean audio, but as you get a distance away and you're turned away and there's something blocking, it's gonna start breaking up. Now, I'm doing a backup recording on the Mic 2 and the mic, so I could use this audio when it does break up. And one of the big differences with the Mic Mini is you can only use it connected to your camera. And so as I walk around, I don't know if I'm in the shot anymore, maybe I am. The Mic Mini might stay connected, but it's not perfect, especially when you're maybe walking away from camera and getting a distance. But the reality is, there's not that often that you're really gonna be doing this. Oftentimes when you're filming with the Mic Mini, you're gonna have a clear line of sight to the camera and you'll stay within a good distance that you're gonna have clean audio. Now let's talk about battery life, because it does differ from the DJI mic and Mic 2 versus the DJI Mic Mini. The DJI mic and Mic 2 are around 5 to 6 hours of battery life on both the transmitter and the receiver. So you get a decent amount of time being able to use both the transmitter and the receiver. However, with the Mic Mini, on the receiver you get 10 hours, and on the transmitter you get 11 and a half hours. So pretty much double the amount of time you get with the DJI mic and the DJI Mic 2. Now, I'm put all the specific numbers up on screen so you could see the difference between all of these, but you definitely get a lot more battery life with the Mic Mini. Also, when you're using the charging case, you could charge your DJI Mic Mini 3.6 times, whereas the DJI Mic 2 is around 2 cycles and the DJI Mic is around 1.8. So basically, you get a ton more time with the battery on the DJI Mic Mini versus the Mic or the Mic 2. All right, let's go back downstairs and let me show you the size difference between these down here in this echoey space. All right, I feel kind of ridiculous carrying this backpack around, but you can hear all 3 mics this way. So I have all the parts laid out here. Basically, with the Mic Mini, it's significantly smaller. The DJI Mic and the DJI Mic 2 are both the same size. So they have a longer body on the transmitter, and they also weigh a little bit more. I'll put the weights on the screen here so you can see the difference. Now, also with all 3 of these, it says DJI right on the front. However, the big difference with number 2 is you have this kind of translucent front element, which looks cool, but it also is pretty shiny. With the DJI Mic Mini and the original DJI Mic, it's more of a matte finish, so it doesn't catch the white light as much. Not a big thing, because what you could do is just put a piece of tape over it if it's bothering you. However, the big difference when it comes to size between the Mic Mini and the other 2 is that it's easier to put the Mic Mini on your shirt and not have it sag. Whereas with the DJI Mic and the DJI Mic 2, it is a little heavier, so you'll see it start to pull on your shirt. So if you're just wearing a t-shirt and it's a little bit loose, it's something to consider for sure, but it's also not a deal breaker to get one versus the other. Personally, I really like the size of the Mic Mini, and I think they did a really good job with how small and lightweight it is. And even with the windscreen on the top, it's not super obtrusive. However, with the DJI Mic and the DJI Mic 2, you have an input in the top of it that allows you to add additional lavalier microphones. So with the DJI Mic Mini, you can only use the transmitter as a microphone. It's a standalone microphone, and that's about it. Whereas with the Mic 2 and the original mic, you have a place to put in this lavalier so that you could attach different mics, use this as a body pack, hide it, and then you don't have to have the DJI mic transmitter somewhere here. Because all of these are omnidirectional microphones, you need to have the microphone somewhere close to where the person's talking. Otherwise, you're gonna just hear a lot of background noise. Right now, you're probably hearing a lot of echo because I'm speaking to a big open space over here, and it's very echoey. However, with the mic and the Mic 2, you could hide this transmitter, put it in a pocket or something, and then run a lavalier mic, and then you could hide it completely. So it is more of a pro level feature. If that is something that you need access to, you're gonna want the DJI Mic or the DJI Mic 2. Now, one thing that's different between the Mic Mini and the Mic 2 is that the DJI Mic Mini has no haptic feedback. So on the Mic and the Mic 2, it vibrates. The actual transmitter vibrates. So it tells you if it's turned on or if it's turned off or if something has happened. It's a super useful feature to have the haptic feedback and you actually feel when a microphone turns on or it starts recording. Whereas with the Mic Mini, you have none of that. So that is one major difference between the two. And personally, I really do like having the microphone vibrate just so I know what's going on, especially when I'm working as a solo creator, because when I'm out here by myself, if I hit record and I don't actually feel the vibration, well then I'll know to check it. It is something that's pretty cool about the DJI Mic 2 and the DJI Mic, especially when you compare it to all the microphone systems out on the market. They're the only ones with this vibration. Now, one of the big things is internal recording. So the DJI Mic and the DJI Mic 2 have internal recording, whereas the DJI Mic Mini, you can only send audio to the camera or phone or whatever you're recording on. There's no way to record on the Mic Mini itself. So with the DJI Mic 2, you get a 32-bit float recording. And this is definitely more of a pro level feature. And what this means is that you're gonna be able to record at all different volumes and basically be able to preserve the highs and the lows and be able to get a clean sound. With the original DJI mic, you don't have a 32-bit internal recording. So if you get super loud beyond what the microphone can handle, you're gonna start having some clipping. And that's where the sound is just not gonna sound as good. So you just have to understand your limits with the DJI mic and work within those. Whereas with the DJI Mic 2, you can have a little bit more range when it comes to the fluctuation of the audio up and down. However, with clipping, the DJI Mic Mini has a clipping control. And so Oh, check that out. There's the mirror. And so with the clipping control, it's basically gonna auto adjust the levels to make it so that it never actually clips the audio on the high range. This is only a feature that's found in the DJI Mic Mini. So it's gonna save you if you do have a lot of fluctuation in your audio and you wanna make sure you preserve that you have the cleanest audio when you're recording on your camera. With the 32-bit float in the DJI Mic 2, you don't have to worry as much with the recording in the camera because you can use that backup recording if you absolutely have to. The cool thing with the mic and the Mic 2 is that you always have this backup recording so that you could have one recording on the camera, but then you always have a backup here on the microphone. And one of the things that I like to do is just turn on the microphone as always on. So whenever I turn on the DJI Mic 2, it's just always recording so that I never actually miss the audio. So if I can hear the audio in the camera, I can see the levels, it's always doing a backup recording. It's a great feature to be able to make sure that you always have a backup with no matter what you're doing. Check this out. This was my office and now it's empty. But I'm working on a new office right now and it's gonna be a little while, but definitely building out something very different than what I had in here. If you remember on my previous videos with the whole video wall. Gonna build something different now. All right, let's talk about noise cancellation because the DJI Mic Mini has noise cancellation and so does the DJI Mic 2, whereas the DJI Mic, the original one, has no noise cancellation. This is a feature that allows you to get rid of some background sound. If you don't like the noise in the background, it focuses more on your voice. And so with the DJI Mic 2 and the Mic Mini, you do have a noise cancellation option. So right now, this is what it sounds like with no noise cancellation turned on. And I have some sounds here so we have some background noise because it's pretty quiet up here. So we'll turn this on. This is some city sound effects from New York. Pretty much the furthest place from where I'm at right now. All right, I've turned on the strong noise cancellation and let's get the background playing again. So now I have the same sound effects playing in the background, New York City soundscape, the same volume, the same distance from the microphone, and I'm just gonna talk on this hilltop. And now here's with it turned off, so you could really hear the difference between strong and back to just no noise cancellation turned on. Now, personally, I don't necessarily use this and I'll process my audio when I get into my editing software. However, if you're someone who is doing live streams or you're just editing quick or you're just sending videos to your phone, you're recording on your phone and you're just uploading them, well, noise cancellation might be a useful tool because it just cleans up the audio a little bit so that you could get a better sound on your voice when you're recording your audio. When it comes to connecting to additional cameras, your Osmo Pocket or your Osmo Action 5, well, the DJI Mic 2 and the DJI Mic Mini both have this option where you can connect directly to these cameras. The DJI Mic, the original one, does not. It's just super easy to use. So you pair to something like the Osmo Action, and then you don't have to have any cables connected, you don't have to have anything plugged in, it's wirelessly connected. So if you are someone who uses the Action or the Pocket, the DJI Mic 2 or the Mic Mini are great tools to be able to get wireless audio without having to have anything extra on the camera. You just go in the menu, find the wireless, hit connect, and it automatically all syncs up. It's a really cool feature. And I forgot to grab this. This is one of the last things I need to take out of the house. Now also, when it comes to connecting cameras, you could connect to your laptop or to your phone. And there's different adapters for phones, or you could plug in through the USB-C and connect these directly to your computer as well. And this is something that I've been doing a lot of recently. When I've been doing my voiceovers, I've just been attaching my Mic Mini directly to my computer. And in my office, I've just hold the Mic Mini and do a voiceover that way. Really easy to use, and it sounds great. I'm a big fan of the audio on the Mic Mini because they've improved the EQ and it sounds a lot better. Now with the DJI Mic 2, the original firmware that came out didn't sound as good, but now they've updated the firmware and the DJI Mic 2 also sounds really solid. And part of this video is to let you hear all three to see if you prefer one versus the other. So overall, all three of these microphones are very similar, and there's just little variances that are gonna appeal to one type of creator versus another. Now, if price is a big factor, you're gonna wanna look at the Mic Mini or the original DJI mic. And it also depends on which camera that you're working with. If you're working with something like the Osmo Pocket or the Action 5, well, the Mic Mini is a no-brainer unless you need that backup recording. Now, if you're more worried about making sure you always have good audio, then you're gonna wanna get the DJI Mic 2, because with the 32-bit float backup recording, you're gonna have the best ability to get good audio no matter what type of situation. And if you want backup recording or you want the ability to plug in a lavalier, but you don't need all the bells and whistles that the DJI Mic 2 has, well then, the DJI mic might be the perfect solution for you. And if you were to ask me which microphone I would use, well, I used the DJI mic for a very long time until the Mic 2 came out. And I personally like the pro features that are built into the Mic 2. The 32-bit float recording, the lavalier option, and also a big thing for me is that with the DJI Mic 2 or the DJI mic, you can control the entire thing. You could control the entire system from the receiver. Whereas on the Mic Mini, you have to attach it to your phone and use the DJI Mimo app to be able to turn certain settings on and off. And so for me personally, I like the ability to have everything on the receiver. I like the added pro features that you get with the DJI Mic 2. And so that would be the microphone system that I personally would use. However, every creator is different and your needs are different. So I wanted to give you a clear idea of all three of these microphones. And next, you should check out one of these videos, which are the beginner's guides to all three of these microphones, so that you can learn how to use every feature in each one of the microphones, whichever one you choose. I'll see you on the next one.